The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. And like that, he's gone.
Well, here we are. Look, and I had to come to you, as it turns out.
You know what? And I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Man, I've spent the past 10 days going back and rewatching
you're kidding.
Everything.
Oh, my God.
You have an endless supply.
Wow.
Of great stuff.
Thanks. Well, very cool suit.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Jake, you'll have 8 minutes. I'll give you a 2, a 1, and a wrap.
Thank you, sir.
Jeff says he has speed.
I have speed. Anytime, guys.
Excellent. Mr. Spacey, good to see you, sir.
If you don't call me Kevin, this interview ends right
Kevin,
now.
Good to see you, Kevin.
Thank you
my
very
good
much.
buddy Kevin, who reads my tweets, and I'm greatly appreciative.
Yeah, and by the way, there's no reason to be nervous, at all.
I'm cool. I'm feeling
Because, you said you've never done a junket with me before, and it turns out I had to come to you here in Chicago to get this junket.
And it's
for the
greatly
first time.
appreciated, very greatly. I have a very comfortable fold-out couch. If you need a place to crash,
Okay,
just let me
you.
know.
Thank you.
I want to start out talking about Richard III because I feel like if you look close enough, he's very comparable to a lot of films in your filmography. In Richard III, there's a head in a box.
That's true.
Just like Se7en. He has to overcome a physical ailment, just like Usual Suspects.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, Francis Underwood is Richard III.
That's true.
Once you started playing this part and traveling around the world, did you ever have those moments where you thought, I feel like I've done this before, or am I just grasping at straws?
No, well, you're not grasping at straws. I mean, I can see how you would have come to those things because we used to laugh backstage, going, "What's in the box?" So I completely get that. But it's weird because the disability isn't the same. The head in the box I didn't do. I had a little henchman who did it in the play. And in terms of Francis Underwood, it's been very interesting because many people don't know that he's based entirely on Richard III. That's why the character does the direct address in House of Cards, because that wasn't invented by Ferris Bueller, as you might have thought. It was, in fact, invented by William Shakespeare. And so when I'm in sort of a play, it doesn't strike me that I've done it before. That's one of the great things that I love about theater, is that it always feels so fresh to me every single night. It's like, I've often compared it to playing tennis.
Which you're a big tennis fan.
I'm a huge tennis fan. And I almost this morning, like literally, I was out studying because I have to learn this play that I'm doing in London. I was out studying, and there was a tennis court in this park across, and I was literally wanted to go over and ask them if I could join into.
You
their
should
game.
have. You would have made someone's life. If
I
you
really
done
wanted
that.
to, but anyway, it looked like they lost the court, as soon after I had that thought. But anyway. But it's like tennis theater. It's like, if you went out 8 times a week and played tennis, for people who think that theater's the same, or you get bored doing it, or it's the same lines, tennis is a really good analogy because, yes, it's the same rules, but it's a different game. Every time you're out on that court, you're working on a different part of your game. Your partner's working on a different part of their game. And you add to that the actor being watched. And theater is amazing. It's like that. Every single night is brand new.
I want to talk about whether you might realize it or not. A lot of your characters in your filmography have great Chicago connections. You watch American Beauty, and even though you never say where it takes place, the area codes in the film are 312 and 847, which are Chicago area codes. Even though he's lying, Verbal Kent says that he's part of a barbershop quartet from Skokie, Illinois.
Which, by the way, last night I did on Jimmy Fallon.
And you killed it, man. You did a great job on that. I love that.
I love that. You got to do Chris Sabian.
Right.
Because we shot Negotiator.
Right, exactly. That was the next one on my list.
Right,
Negotiator, right here.
Right.
I was curious, did you know that so many of your characters have great Chicago connections?
Well, not only that, do you know the play that I was learning this morning that I'm about to do in London is a play called Clarence Darrow. Clarence Darrow, although he was born in Ohio, was a Chicagoan. He was, in fact, for many people called the father of the legal profession. He was a great labor attorney. In fact, won the 8-hour day for American workers.
No kidding.
Henry Fonda first played him in 1974, and
No
I'm about
kidding.
to do this play in London.
So
yet another Chicago
one.
connection.
Glengarry Glen Ross, the play made its premiere in Chicago.
That's right.
There you go. You might as well just move here.
But I'd need something a little bigger than your couch, if you don't mind.
It's a very comfortable couch. we could switch off back and forth. Don't worry. I got beer in the fridge.
Oh, excellent. Good.
We're good to go.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of our great city?
I am a fan. Partly because this is such, and always has been, a remarkable theater town. There's great theater here, Goodman, Steppenwolf, and lots of other smaller theaters that aren't quite as well-known. Victory Gardens, there's a lot of wonderful theaters here. I've seen a lot of great plays here. Martha Plimpton I saw in a play here with John Malkovich many years ago. She's now starring on my theater and my stage of the Old Vic in other desert cities. So there are a lot of connections to this town, and I love coming here. So I'm glad we were able to come.
We love you. I want to talk about something you touched on earlier, which is Richard III and also Francis Underwood breaking that fourth wall and talking directly to the audience, because I think that is such a great sort of literary technique. I was wondering, of all the other characters you've played, if you could have another one break that fourth wall and talk directly to us, who would you be most interested in hearing from?
Well, in a weird way, it almost feels like that happened in American Beauty.
Yeah, because he was
although he
talking to
didn't
us.
look directly at the viewer. There was a sense that he was the narrator of his own life. You know, I don't know. I saw Sam Jackson recently, and I said to him, "Why don't we do another Negotiator?"
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
That'd be cool.
I
think maybe it's actually a really good idea. Or we could just do a comedy and call it Negotiate This.
But I see the poster like you guys are back to back looking at each other. See, I'm in.
No, we probably should never do that. But it is an interesting idea. But maybe that kind of character, Chris Sabian, would be a character.
I would love that. I was thinking John Doe.
John Doe.
Love to have John Doe sort of judge each and every one of us. Expanding on that, it would be a lifelong dream of mine if maybe you could break the fourth wall right now and tell our audience exactly what you're feeling in this moment.
I'm jealous of his suit.
Whenever you started to tour around the world with Richard III, and then whenever you made that transition to Netflix to start House of Cards, so many articles came out questioning, why is he doing this? Why is he leaving behind this successful movie career? Flash forward to today, you revolutionized how we look at theater, you've revolutionized how we look at TV. I want to know, how do you go back? How do you go back to the traditional Hollywood world of making movies?
Well, look, here's the thing about it that we have to remember, is that that camera doesn't know it's a movie camera or a TV camera or a webisode camera. It's just a camera. So you can do really great work in front of a camera no matter what. What has changed is that the way in which audiences are discovering material. What has been proved, I think, with the Netflix model, what has been proved by the fact that you can look at all these incredible talents that are finding new platforms, new ways to get their work out, self-producing, self-releasing. You look at, you know, Louis C.K. and other people. I'm self-distributing this. You look at this young kid, I think his name is Louis Cruikshank. He's got 1 billion views from a little webisode thing that he started 6 years ago about a hyperactive kid. So it seems to me that there's this incredible thing happening where there's all this creativity and technology that are converging at the same moment. And I think that the audience doesn't care about the platform, they care about the content, and they will go where the content is. And so it's not so much that, oh, I don't think of it in terms of, bow, I got to go back. I think that what is beginning to shift and change is that appointment viewing is probably more behind us than it is ahead of us. And that's an incredibly exciting thing. So I decided with this movie I was going to walk the walk. I wasn't going to take the film, you know, hat in hand to some film festival and try to make a deal. I was going to say, I'm going to put this out there on my own because I often think that the industry undervalues films like this. And I want to see just how big the crossover audience might be.
Because people are interested in this. My folks aren't big theater people, but my folks were visiting me in town and we got to watch it together. And they were captivated. 90 minutes. We sat there and watched the entire thing. And, you know, I don't think they've even been to the theater in their entire life. But they loved seeing how it all comes together.
Well, I hope maybe we planted the seed for your folks. They'll go out to the theater.
I'm going to get them out there. I'm working on it. Mr. Spacey, one of the single greatest honors of my life, getting to sit across
from you. Thank you very much. That was a pleasure.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. And like that, he's gone.